Ooh. Okay. There's a lot going on here. If you are one of those people that actually make this live, good for you. I'm going to give this a second to catch up, to load, and then we're going to hop right into this. So before we talk about the title of this video, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, which is the episode 1 of the Erika Kirk series that Candace Owens just dropped. And I have to say, first and foremost, I'm impressed. It's not what I thought Candace was going to do. Candace is known for doing great research. Her Becoming Bridget series, the work that she did on Kamala Harris, the list goes on. She's known for doing great work. But I thought she was going to do sort of a combination, as I said before, of work that other people have done already, because it's been 4 months and so many people have done research and shared so much stuff about Erika that I thought she was just going to be sort of sourcing different people. And I do believe that she's going to do that in other episodes. What she just did in this episode, I was not expecting. We have to connect some dots. We have to connect some dots before we speak about this ex-CIA member who just exposed other fraud about TPUSA. Where do I start? Okay. One of the biggest parts that Candace just shared that I thought was so interesting, you all know, especially those of you that have been following this channel long enough, I've spoken about TPUSA. TPUSA. I can't even think straight right now. I've spoken a lot about Freemasonry on this channel. And this is super, super important because Candace spoke about this a lot. But there's something specifically she said about Erika. And I want to play this clip. Yes, an episode that just ended barely an hour ago. I've already clipped several parts of the episode. So let me pull this clip up. And I want you all to hear something that she said about Erika, something that, we all have alluded to many times on this channel before. But let's take a listen first.
Pivoting back to Erika and her story, I will tell you my personal opinion and my experience with her. What alarms me about Erika isn't so much the fact that she lies, which we will prove to you over and over again, but it's also the fact that I don't know that she's aware that she's lying.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost as though she doesn't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Like the version that she's telling us today or yesterday was just recently downloaded into her mind, and she therefore thinks it's true, like a faulty memory or something. I'm saying that I'm not sure if she's fully aware that she's lying, because it's like some of the lies are so stupid.
Yes. The reason why this is important is because many times, and I can almost bet everything that I own, Candace is going to eventually get to this. At some point, Candace is going to talk about MK Ultra, and we've alluded to this before on this channel, where I've said it, some of you in the comment section have said it. We wonder if Erika Kirk has went through MK Ultra before. And I am very, very, of course, I don't know it to be a fact. This is all speculation. Everything I say in this video is alleged. Based on what I've seen in the music industry, which has been sort of my quote unquote area of expertise over the past 3 or 4 years, it lines up perfectly, her behavior, because it seems like her constantly getting in front of the camera, sort of the things that she's done in the past. It's like, you're just giving us free content. You're giving us a layup, right? In basketball terms, this is a layup. You're making it easy for us. But this will perfectly explain it. I wonder if I wonder if she is even able to remember, because she could potentially be going through MK Ultra where her memory is being wiped. Okay. People are saying the chat is broken. It's looking like, yeah, it's looking very weird. Do I need to start this over? Give me a 1 in the chat if you can hear me in real time. I may have to redo this. Chat is fine. Okay. All right, cool. All right. So there's so many things here. So I want to get that out the way. I wonder if Erika Kirk is a product of MK Ultra. In fact, I'm very confident in that being a possibility. That is the safe way and the responsible way to word that. Another thing that's very important, and I need to say this before I forget it. I believe that Candace Owens just connected. I'm actually very confident that Candace Owens just connected Erika Kirk to Jeffrey Epstein. She just hasn't done it yet, and I believe she's about to slowly inch her way into it, maybe in the second or third episode. I guarantee you this is the direction she's going. Remember 2 or 3 episodes ago, we spoke about Erika Kirk's connection to Jeffrey Epstein. Erika Kirk allegedly applied for, back in, I believe it was 2018, maybe. I may be getting the year wrong. 2018, I believe it was. She applied for this luxurious real estate agency, Corcoran or something to that effect, right? All these people are the owners, a couple of the CEOs from this agency are literally in the Epstein files, all right? But they also did business with Jeffrey Epstein after he was a convicted pedophile, right? So they really had no excuse. The reason why this is important is because Jeffrey Epstein had a business partner by the name of Scott Rothstein. And if you go to ChatGPT, it says Scott Rothstein was a real prominent Florida lawyer, best known for running a massive Ponzi scheme, and he did have a documented connection to lawsuits involving Jeffrey Epstein, including at least one legal clash between them. All right. So they were connected. They were 100% connected. Why is that important? Scott Rothstein was his name. Well, let me show you why that's important, specifically as it relates to Erika Kirk from a different angle now.
Of which, why does her one-time roommate, Nicole Rothstein, allege that half of their family, referring to her and Erika's family, is Jewish? Doesn't make sense. She also claimed that after Charlie's assassination, that Erika, she was online going back and forth with people, that Erika was her best friend and her cousin. Nicole Rothstein said this. Now, I want to be clear, the Rothstein family, the Zion's Gate is their dedication. Nicole wouldn't be lying if she posted that it was her family's dedication, but Erika? Also, how did Erika and Nicole Rothstein get so close? Mm-hmm. Remember, Erika presents that she was raised by a single mother on the Lebanese side. If Erika is telling the truth about her paternity, then Nicole Rothstein, I want you to understand who this would be to her. Nicole Rothstein, it's going to sound ridiculous, but this is the reality. If Erika's telling the truth, Nicole Rothstein would be Erika's father's sister's husband's previous wife's daughter's daughter. In other words, zero blood relation, not even kind of related, kind of crazy. You would even call each other cousins. People do that. It's cool. It's my cousin. It's my cousin. Okay, cool. Erika goes a little further, though. Erika also posted a lovely tribute to Alan Rothstein, Nicole's father, online. She calls him Uncle. Uncle? Whoa, whoa, whoa. If Erika's telling the truth about who her parents are, to Erika, that would be her father's sister's husband's previous wife's daughter's husband. Suffice it to say, again, absolutely zero blood relation, and yet Erika is extraordinarily close to him as well. Now, we can show you on the family chart just how removed this is. It's insane. Okay, but we actually couldn't even fit it. It's so far removed. So you've got her aunt.
So, yeah, that is Nicole Rothstein, the roommate / cousin of Erika Kirk, except according to Candace's research, there isn't an actual blood relation or connection there. Nicole Rothstein, Scott Rothstein. Is it a coincidence? But we're not done. So there is also speculation as to who Erika Kirk's real mom is. We're going to listen to this first, and then I'm going to tell you why this is important.
Is married to a guy named Jack, but Jack was also previously married to somebody else, which you see there named Edna. And this is Edna and Jack's line. This has nothing to do with Erika Franzwe. Again, how did she get so close to these people? Why is she referring to them as her family and declaring that Zion's Gate, which is actually their family's dedication, which has nothing to do with her Aunt Carla, why is she saying that that's her family's dedication? That makes no sense. I'm struck by this. We could imagine how it could make sense. Now, again, we're imagining here. We're trying.
So for those of you that didn't watch it, just so that you can, I really believe something's wrong with my chat. I really believe that something's wrong with my chat. I really want to exit out of this and restart this. I think something's wrong with my chat. This is weird. This is weird. I'm just going to keep going. I hate to end it. I hate to end the stream, bro, but are you all experiencing something weird with the chat and with the live right now? Okay. Okay. Okay, y'all said it's cool. All right, cool. So ignorant people like this, I think everything is a conspiracy. What are you talking about? Matter of fact, hold on. Let me figure out how to get you up out of here. Okay. So anyways, okay. So the reason why this is important, so that you all can understand what she's talking about, Erika Kirk has been posting things about family members that, according to Candace, there seems to be no blood relation to these people, including her own mother. All right. So right now, Candace is talking about an Instagram post that Erika Kirk made, or Erika Franzwe, I believe she was Erika Franzwe at the time. She made towards this older gentleman that she was calling her grandfather. But the phrase that she was using, which was, I believe, a Swedish phrase, is supposed to mean her, I believe, her maternal father. So her maternal grandfather, which means her mother's father. But there's some sort of discrepancy. So Candace is about to give you her theory. And I'm going to tell you what I think about this and how it aligns with some research that we've done on this channel as well.
Trying to make sense of the things that Erika is saying. I could imagine a very easy way it could actually make sense. Her closeness to the Rothsteins, her dedication to Jerusalem, if and only if we take Erika literally when she says Morfar. Let's assume that Grandpa Carl is indeed her mother's father. That would mean, well, obviously, Lori's wouldn't be her mother. It would also mean that Kent, just by nature of him being a man, is not her father. We're looking for her mother's father. So we have to start looking at Kent's siblings that are females. That would give us only 3 options. We can bring this back up. One of Kent's sisters would be my first pick. Again, we're in conspiracy land here, but I'd go with Carla because she's married to Jack Solomon, and
I would not only go with Carla because of that reason. Erika looks a lot like Carla. Do you all see where Carla is? Carla is in the very center. Let me see if I can make this bigger. That's Carla right there in the very center of the pink box. All right. That's Carla. Not only does she look a lot like Erika, or not only does Erika resemble Carla quite a bit, But Carla also looks a lot like the Erika from Florida. Remember we talked about Governor Kirk? Remember that video, Governor Kirk? He married a woman by the name of Erika, who would then become Erika Kirk. She looks just like Erika Kirk in Florida.
Jack Solomon's dedication. Carla wasn't even married to Jack until 2002. She just jumped in and was like, this is my whole family and my family's dedication. No. But if Carla, her mother's father, if her mother was Carla, actually it would all make sense. Solomon is the very man who financed the restoration of Zion's gate in Jerusalem. If Jack Solomon was her father, then Nicole Rothstein would indeed be her blood relative cousin. But again, that's purely speculation. We don't have to go into speculation. Let's give you the facts more about Jack Solomon. What is factual is that Jack Solomon eventually marries Carla Ronsvay in 2002. And there are also some other really interesting facts about Jack. Jack and Erika's mommy aunt, I don't know, Carla, live in Utah. He graduated from what is today known as Utah Valley University. He's very involved in the university. It was formerly known as Utah Valley State College when he graduated from there. He also created on their campus the Center for Jewish Studies. I mean, at the very least, you'd think with all of the money that he poured into that university, he might be able to call someone to get us more footage of Tyler Robinson.
So hold up. You're telling me that Erika Kirk is allegedly related. I am blown away. Even despite all the things that we've discovered over the past 4 months, this is crazy. The implications here are crazy. So you mean to tell me that Erika Kirk is allegedly related to this woman by the name of Carla, who was married to a guy by the name of Jack? Both Carla and Jack are tied to the UVU campus. Jack in particular has done work currently to this day at the UVU campus, the same campus Charlie Kirk allegedly lost his life. And people keep asking me, why are you spending so much time talking about Charlie Kirk, Erika Kirk? Because there's something going on here. There is something here. This is a big deal. That's crazy, man. Something else Candace pointed out was this right here. So apparently this is Erika Fonsvie when she was a kid at a school that she attended. Okay. What's interesting about this is the hand pose that she's making here. And in the episode, Candace went out of her way to point out the very obvious fact that this is a Freemasonic hand sign. You say, well, this is a kid. Yeah, but a kid can be coached. That is a Freemasonic hand sign. The moment Candace said this, which by the way, I've told people this, give credit where it's due. Candace has pointed out Freemasonic things almost every time that it's shown up. How many kids pose like this? How many kids pose like this? This just continues to get deeper and deeper. Now, with that said, I have a few questions for Candace Owens. Because Candace, if you're going to point that out, I have just a couple of quick questions for you, because you've kind of made the same hand sign. So has Charlie. And many people have speculated that Charlie Kirk was, potentially is, a Freemason. So here you are posing with this guy the same way. We got to call a spade a spade. I'm going to go a step further. Look at this photo here. There's Charlie Kirk to the far left in the blue blazer with the Freemasonic hand sign again. And he is to the very right to that photo with the 666 Freemasonic hand sign. Let me move this banner so people can see everything. Do you all know who the young lady is at the very top right? The one that's covering up one eye and the one that's doing the devil horns, or as they'll say, the I love you sign. Do you all know who that is? The girl with the blonde hair at the very top is the so-called individual that was allegedly unalived in Charlotte on the train. That is also her right under that picture doing the 666 hand sign over her eyes. Do you all know who the person is at the very bottom right? That is the individual that allegedly lost her life in where is it? Where is it that George Floyd is from? Is it Minnesota? So that would be my question. If we're going to talk about Freemasonry, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Because there's something off here. And yes, that is Erika Kirk at the very bottom. We've also covered that on the channel. Flipping off the audience. Right? Somebody got some explaining to do. Yeah. 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 Yeah, man. So this is part of the reason my channel gets shadow banned. Because I can't help myself. So yeah. It's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a really big deal. But let's move on real fast. I'm going to get my thoughts together and get it more polished. And I'll drop in a regular video probably tomorrow, sort of connecting more dots. But what we've been able to gather so far, one, Erika Kirk is most likely more tied to Jeffrey Epstein than we originally thought. Two, it's appearing that Freemasonry is a lot more involved in this situation as well. It also appears that Erika Kirk's life has most likely been a lie, down to her parents. Which, by the way, we're going to go and look together. I dropped a video. Let's see here. Dee Dee got a podcast. Here we go. Let's go to videos. We're going to find the video so that you all can see what it looks like. Here it is right here. To the far right of the screen, it says TPUSA suspicious military ties deeper than you think. It shows Rob McCoy, Mikey McCoy, Charlie Kirk, Andrew Covett, and Erika Kirk. Brian, the auditor, and myself, we dig into the backgrounds of all these people. Almost everything as far as the backstory, probably about 70% of what Candace mentioned today, we covered in this video over a month ago. So if you all would like to see this, I will try to remember to put this link in the description to this video. All right. Now, I want to show you all an ex-CIA member who is claiming that she has found more TPUSA fraud. When I originally saw the video, I got upset, I'll be honest, because I thought it was a waste of my time. Brian, the auditor, already exposed the possibility that fraud was taking place. People were probably stealing money. There was potentially money laundering taking place, allegedly. Brian, the auditor, did that 3 months ago. Zach from Wolves in Finance also did some incredible research himself. So at the very beginning of this video, I was like, she's just repeating everything we already know. Why is this video going viral? Turns out that was only part one. There's 4 parts. And this lady is onto something. So let me pull this up. And I actually haven't seen all of it. But I watched part 2 and I was like, oh, she has potentially discovered millions of dollars of additional missing funds. All right. So we're going to react to this in real time together. Hit the like button.
For Charlie Kirk. I followed the money on TPUSA. I found a lot. Let's go. I spent my career at the CIA and NSA and also advised other intelligence agencies. I now have my own corporate intelligence firm. All of these opinions are my own. This analysis is my own for entertainment purposes only. September 2nd, 2025, Charlie Kirk sends out an internal memo to TPUSA saying, hey, I'm announcing Justin Strife as our COO, and with that, he's going to lead a Doge-like effort into our financials and operations. Yay. Basically an internal audit, but without setting off red flags to the rest of the company that he wanted an audit. That's how I read it anyway. 8 days later, Charlie Kirk was murdered. Within the week, Erika Kirk was announced as the CEO, and that audit and Doge-like effort never happened. But lucky for us, TPUSA is a 501c3 and their financials are public. So I went in and dove in, announced myself as the independent Doge to do the follow the money, because in my mind, if the CEO is asking for an internal audit, he thinks something is up. And so I wanted to see what was going on. This is part 1. If you want to see the full write-up on my Substack channel, you can head over there and subscribe. Very grateful for all your support. I will start a podcast there next week as well. In part 1, I want to talk about what I think maybe gave him a sense that he needed to do an audit. And it's 3 vendors: Lion Rock Ventures, Cloverstone, and GSM Strategies.
Now, I just want to repeat everything you're about to hear, and I'm going to let it play. The very beginning of part 1, we already know all of this information, but she's about to get super deep, and she's about to go into some other things that we haven't necessarily delved into about the financials of TPUSA. All right. And for those of you asking me, Miss Elaine, you're asking me to drop the link to the video. If I drop it right now, it won't do much justice. It will just disappear in the links. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till the video ends, and then I'm going to put it in the description. All right. So let's see what she has to share with us that we have yet to hear yet.
Whenever I'm asked to go into a corporation and assess the CEO or leadership or financials for fraud or potential red flags, because sometimes there aren't, but the first place that I go in their financials is their vendors and consultants. Who are you paying money to? Because to me, that's one of the easiest ways to hide and kind of show your cards. When I was looking at TPUSA's 990 forms, I realized that these 3 LLCs in particular shared not only a director, but an address. And then I started doing digging, and I realized Stacy Sheridan is the common person in all of these. Well, Stacy Sheridan is also the senior advancement director for TPUSA, making upwards of at least $200,000 a year to do the exact same job that apparently they were paying these consulting firms to do that she owned. Allegedly. Let's say you can look past that. Let's say it's like, so what? Well, next red flag is Lion Rock Ventures formed in 2019, and then it dissolved a year and a half later, and then Cloverstone formed, and then Cloverstone dissolved, and all while she was doing the same job for TPUSA. And on their 990 forms, they did check the box where they have their directors and people in her position sign conflict of interest forms, and this would be a conflict of interest, absolutely. And they brought in almost $3 million across those 4 years. So you have an employee who is also getting paid to do the same thing as her job through these vendors, allegedly.
So I'm going to tell you early on so nobody's confused why this is such a big deal. I don't know if I've seen anybody connect this dot before. So what this lady has just said is one of the vendors that was getting paid, and she's going to start showing us charts and 1099 forms and all of that here in a moment. But before we get to that, she just showed us that Stacy Sheridan is a person that was over one of the companies, and she was labeled as one of the employees to receive about $200,000 a year, which is already, I mean, that's like 5 times the amount of money the average American is making. So she's already making more than enough money as an employee, but she's also over these vendors or these organizations that essentially received more than $3 million. These organizations, if she hasn't said it yet, are not going to last very long, right? Which is already suspicious. Brian, the auditor, exposed that. This is why it's suspicious. Remember, the day that everything happened with Charlie, when Erika arrived, who did Erika arrive with? It wasn't her mother or a Lori Fronsby, allegedly her mother, from what we've heard today. She arrived with Stacy Sheridan. Who did she go to the church with when the woman alleges that she felt like they were trying to coerce her out of money? Candace shared that story as well. Who was at the church with Erika Kirk? Stacy Sheridan. That is extremely suspicious when you've already been in question about your finances. But I'm getting ahead of myself.
I found the $350,000 payment that people keep talking about and the shady things around it. I found it in their 990. I'll do that in part 2. Everything that I have found in my Doge assessment is public, okay? I'm just putting the pieces together and asking the questions because in a lot of this stuff, although it's public, the deeper you dive, the more connections you make, and that's where it really starts to get interesting. And I have found so much. Really what we want to do is get to the bottom of why did he ask for this audit in the first place? I've done 2 full write-ups so far. You can follow my investigation on my Substack channel. It is free to subscribe. It's not behind a paywall. There are only a few things behind a paywall. So please go over there. We are also number 27 in rising politics. So let's go. All right, if you haven't seen part 1, head over there. But part 2, we're going to look into one of the largest vendors that showed up, see what they're up to. As I'm going through the 990 forms, I see their 2022 filing, this new vendor pop up, Resource One, and it's to the tune of $2.9 million. At this point, I've seen so many vendors that have made me question a lot. So definitely took note of this one. Then I go to 2023 and I see that they're now the number 1 vendor to the tune of over $6 million for a printing company. So I was like, why would a nonprofit in Arizona need not only $9 million of printing services, but why would they go to a printing company that's based out of Tulsa, Oklahoma? Why would
That's the same question that me and Brian, the auditor, was asking. But this isn't the only company that did this, right? They did this with multiple companies, and they did business with Donald Trump Jr., where they went to another vendor and another consulting firm in a completely different state, way on the other side of the country, to do business, when they could have just went to somebody right there in Arizona. It's extremely suspicious. Not only that, but the companies have very scarce websites. You can't really find many other customers of theirs. So it seems that TPUSA is the only customer of that company, which gives us reason to believe there could potentially be money laundering that's taking place here, or fraud.
and they go to a local one? There's tons of big ones in Arizona. And this is where we pull the thread. So I'm like, okay, they're paying $9 million to, or in that year, $6 million in 2023, to a printing company. Let's go to their expenses. Why are we reporting that we're spending 1.3 million? So you spend 6.1 million on a printing company, but you report in your expenses that you're spending 1.3 million on printing.
So that means there's about a probably $4.85 million discrepancy here. There's about $4 to $5 million missing here, guys. That's what that means.
So where's the other $4.8 million? I got big pictures for us. Where's the other 4.8 million? Question mark. So I pull the thread. Interestingly enough, when I go on Open Corporates to look at the LLC for Resource One, I see a bunch of different LLCs out of Delaware. Agent addresses are in Delaware, so blah, dead end. But here on the form, they gave us a Tulsa, Oklahoma address. So I look at that address. The address that we just saw, 2800 Apache Street. When I look it up on Open Corporates, we find Worldwide Printing and Distribution. Because Resource One isn't even the company's real name. They're just doing business as Resource One. So if you look it up in filings, you're never going to be able to know who the real daddy is. There were multiple branches under the Worldwide Printing and Distribution. The one that I found the most interesting was this one in North Dakota. We have our little fundraising consultant branch. Why is a printing and distribution company having a fundraising consulting branch? Doing business as Resource One so that it can nestle itself under, nobody's going to look into it and figure it out. This was interesting. It also dissolved in 2025. I'm like, something's not smelling right. Because we all know that a 501c3 can't spend a penny on political anything because everything's tax deductible for them. And if you're a political arm, it's not. And when your revenue is $84 million a year, mostly through donations, well, that's important to your donors. So I was like, and I started digging more. Meet James Moore. He is the CEO of Worldwide Printing and Distribution. He is also the chairman of a group called More DM Group. More DM Group is not a print shop. More DM Group is a $700 million direct mail political conglomerate that brings in over $16 million, according to their FEC filings, from PACs. They have 33 subsidiary companies, and if you go to their website, wearemore.com, you'll see that one of their 4 major service lines is political fundraising.
And they have how many? 33. 33.
He is also the chairman of a group called More DM Group. More DM Group is not a print shop. More DM Group is a $700 million direct mail political conglomerate that brings in over $16 million, according to their FEC filings, from PACs. They have 33 subsidiary companies, and if you go to their website, wearemore.com, you'll see that one of their 4 major service lines is political fundraising. So why is a 501c3 that can't spend a penny on political fundraising sending over $9 million in 2 years to a political conglomerate and then going to great lengths to kind of make that relationship murky? So this $4.8 million that didn't go to printing, that's unaccounted for, but went to a company that is a political powerhouse. You know, TPUSA, don't blame us because y'all aren't good at doing this. Like, you should have someone like me come in kind of like a pen tester to test your vulnerabilities, to tell you that this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Also, I looked at the 501c4 filing, which is the political arm of TPUSA, because I was just like, who are they paying over there? And they're paying, our girl Stacy at Cloverstone. She's paid out of there too from part one, but they pay a company called Conrad over $1.1 million. And Conrad is another subsidiary of DM Moore. So you've got $1.1 million going to the political arm, and then you've got 1.3 going to printing, and then you've got 4.8 we don't know where it went. CREW has filed complaints about this, and people could not put the dots together. So I do think that I found something here. All of this is alleged for entertainment purposes only. But the fact that the White House put out we're not going to audit them, which is bizarre, really, y'all aren't doing yourself any favors. All right, stay tuned for part 3, guys. I have a lot coming. 8 days before Charlie Kirk was murdered, he announced Justin Strife as a COO and an internal Doge-like assessment that he wanted the company to have, which to me, as somebody who reads CEOs, is like, hey, I saw some red flags. I'm not liking how things are going. I kind of feel like I'm being left in the dark. This is just my opinion, and I want to know what's going on. What this series is doing is looking at what would they have found using all public information, and I'm just putting the pieces together and pulling threads based on pattern recognition and my experience. And we are uncovering some interesting things. I've done a full write-up, 2 pretty thorough investigations on my Substack, so go over there. The link is in my bio. It is free to subscribe. We are number 27 trending in politics, so thank you all so much for your support. Let's get into it. May 15th, 2023, GGL-FM LLC appears, and it is a shell LLC out of Wyoming, Wyoming's becoming the new Delaware. Charleston mailing address traces back to an asset management tax law firm. Then on the 990s, the 2023 990, it appears, the GGL-FM appears, and it is for a $350,000 life insurance premium taken out under, you can see CEO is Charlie Kirk. So Charlie Kirk owns this GGL-FM, and it is a split life insurance policy, which means that the donors pay the $350,000. TPUSA pays the $350,000. And if something were to happen to Charlie Kirk, the amount would be split between TPUSA and whoever Charlie Kirk's heirs are.
Now, I just want to pause here to say, for those of you that may be newer to the channel, or maybe you may have missed the video, the original audit that Brian the Auditor did on this channel that sort of broke the internet, it was like a 2.5-hour video though. But within that video, Brian the Auditor spoke about this very thing, because we speculated that the name of it is GG, like LFM or something to that effect, could be the initials of his alleged children. GG, and I believe they've alleged that his boy's name may be Mikey or something like that. I'm not sure. But what's even more interesting is it's been very difficult for us to figure out if that insurance policy has even been paid out or not. We don't know. But what Brian the Auditor and I did come to the conclusion about is that there's a very high chance that a premium of $350,000 is unheard of. Everybody's different. People have different lifestyles and incomes and experiences and, trials and tribulations. So their insurances, premiums will fall in different categories. Some people can only afford $10,000, $5,000, $3,000, $30,000, $50,000, $350,000. Whoever's getting paid out is probably going to be getting paid out somewhere in the $10 million range. That's to put it into perspective, based on the year that he got this insurance policy. But let's keep this going.
A $350,000 premium for a healthy 30-ish-year-old male, you're looking at $30 to $50 million. So it is not a small chunk of change. My first question is, why May 2023? Because if that company formed May 15th, the life insurance policy was taken out around then. What happened around that time that would make them want to take out such a substantial life insurance policy on Charlie Kirk in only a year and a half before he was killed? Because TPUSA had been in existence since 2012, and 2017 they brought in $8.4 million in revenue. 2021 was when they exponentially grew to 84 million, and then it just kind of stayed steady around 84, 85 million a year.
Exactly.
2022 is when they spent 8 or 9.6 million more than they brought in, which is insane considering you're bringing in 84 million and you're a nonprofit who only gives 5% of your proceeds to, the schools and stuff. But that's for another TikTok. So why May 2023? I had seen some reporting about the LLC going away and the life insurance policy not being there until a few days before he died and then it coming back up. So I wanted to check for myself, and that's not the case. I went to the Wyoming website. You can see GGLFM here. What we did find here, if you look at the bottom, look at the second yellow line. Turns out on July 9th, GGLFM did dissolve because they did not pay their $60 tax bill. And on December 3rd, 2025, 2.5 months after Charlie Kirk died, they did pay it. What this tells me is that that's when they went to collect on the life insurance policy, and the life insurance policy was like, yeah, GGLFM doesn't, like, it dissolved, you have to get that back up and running. They were like, oh crap. So around this time is when somebody was collecting on that insurance policy. My questions are simple. Did Charlie Kirk know about the life insurance policy taken out on him? Probably, but it's worth asking, especially considering everything else that we've seen and the fact that it was 1.5 years before he ended up dying, and the fact that, or being killed, and the fact that TPUSA would have benefited from his death as far as financially in this life insurance policy. I want to know who benefited. These are just questions, and I want to know who the insurance company is and who collected. Part 4 to me is one of the most interesting pieces of this. Let's get into it. We're going to talk about Rally Forge. Before we get into the mess that is Rally Forge, I want to look at how much Turning Point USA is spending on this company. By the way, I'm only analyzing the 990s from the 501c3. This is very important because they also have a 501c4 that can spend whatever they want on politics, but 501c3s cannot spend one dime because it is tax deductible. Everything is, and it doesn't work like that with the 501c4. In addition, the 501c3 is the one that brings in all the money for Turning Point USA, upwards of over 84 million in 2021, but by now it's like over 120. All right, so 2017, Rally Forge is the #1 vendor and to the tune of like $630 some odd $1,000. 2018, they're the #1 vendor for the 501c3, $479,000. And then 2020, you're looking at $531,000, same thing, top vendor. Rally Forge was owned by this guy, Jake Hoffman. He is an Arizona state senator. He was also communications director at Turning Point USA.
Now, if you all remember this guy, Jake Hoffman was the person who responded to, what's his name? Zach from Wolves and Finance. He responded to his video when Zach went to the parking lot of the strip mall area where TPUSA, according to their 990 forms, they were alleging this is where the funds were being sent. And this was somewhere upwards, I believe, in between $1 and $2 or $3 million was being sent to that area, but he couldn't find the actual name of the business anywhere in that area. And then Zach would eventually find a P.O. box inside of one of the buildings, and obviously it raised a major question, which is, why would so much money be getting sent to a P.O. box and not to an actual business the way in which it's listed on the 990 form? Jake Hoffman responded and accused Zach and the rest of us of being idiots, not understanding how business works, says that there's nothing suspicious going on here, there's nothing to hide, and that's pretty much all he gave us. And I'm pretty sure he's based out of Arizona as well.
And as of 4 days ago, going to take a lot of Arizona taxpayer money towards a memorial for Charlie Kirk. All right, 2018, according to The Guardian, Rally Forge is linked to American Progress Now, and they got in trouble for pushing out ads. This is going to be important. Trying to separate the Democratic Party and get people to vote for the Green Party. You split the Democratic Party and the Republicans win, and they got in trouble for this. Then, after the 2020 elections, Facebook shut their accounts down because they were caught running troll farms. Rally Forge was, same thing. They had all of these kids and other people making fake accounts, pushing out fake news to like CNN, misinformation, trying to get people to vote different ways, all right? Facebook found out, it shut down all their accounts, banned Jake Hoffman's account, all of the people who worked for him's account, but the people paying for these ads, Turning Point USA, but it was their 501c4. Turning Point USA 501c4 did not get in trouble for this because they could claim that they didn't know how he was using the money. They just gave him money for advertising, and this is how he chose to do it. So go back to the 1.6 million that the 501c3 was spending on Rally Forge and tell me how this is aligned to digital education, which is what they classified it as. What are you educating us on, Pookie? Except for troll farms. No, not buying it. Rally Forge ended up getting, banned, and so they changed their name and rebranded to 110 LLC. That UPS mailbox was linked to the same Resource One address. And if we've learned anything from this exercise, it is that when addresses match on these LLCs, they're all in bed together. But our boy Jake Hoffman, on December 14th, 2020, while the troll farm was still running, Jake Hoffman walked into the Arizona Republican headquarters and signed a document falsely certifying himself as one of the Arizona's official presidential electors. He was a fake elector. Fun fact, Tyler Boyer, who at the time, we've heard his name, right, was the COO, he signed the same documents, same day, same time, same room. They got 9 felony counts of fraud, forgery, and conspiracy. And when they rebranded to 110, that transferred over to the 501c4, and they're still getting paid. This is donor money that is being used to do all of this. People who donate to TPUSA, it is your hard-earned money that is going to then feed the pockets, in my opinion, what we have found through some of this follow the money, of people who do not care about you and who are not doing right by your funds. The kids in these schools that are setting up these TPUSA events are not getting it, and that is what the 501c3 is meant to do.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback off what she just said, and I'm going to say something that's going to be it's not what the majority of the people you all are listening to are saying. You've heard me say this before, but after listening to this additional information from both Candace and also this lady here, it's not helping with my original theory that all of this could have been staged. I'm not joking, because I want you to think about something. Here in a minute, I'm going to tell you the amount of times that 33 has come up, and it's more times than you all have realized. When I tell you the amount of times, based on my research, that 33 has come up, wait till I show you what I've come up with. So Charlie Kirk has an insurance policy for $350 with a $350,000 premium. But I guess some payment or something stopped being paid on it. But I don't know if that actually stops them or prevents them from being able to actually collect if it's been definitively decided that Charlie Kirk is deceased. The payouts could be anywhere as low as 10 million, anywhere as high as $50 million. We don't actually see any definitive proof that Charlie Kirk is actually gone, but I know a lot of you all believe that he is. That's fine. Follow me, though. Erika Kirk's background, we've all have felt has been suspicious for the past, 4 months. Now, based on Candace's research, her family's history, potentially who her mother is, could be a lie. Here's another question I have. Where did Charlie Kirk come from? Where are Charlie Kirk's parents? That's the uncomfortable truth, or the uncomfortable question. Where are Charlie's parents? Why is it that we haven't seen Charlie's parents anywhere? Charlie's doing the same weird hand poses that we see other people doing, That's calling a spade a spade. All right? It's calling a spade a spade. I'm back to my original question that I had just a week after everything happened. How do we know that this all wasn't staged? Just like there's suspicious questions about Erika's parents and background, there it kind of is with Charlie too. Charlie was sort of an anomaly. Remember, Charlie allegedly was upset that he couldn't get into some college. He was rejected from getting into some college. Yet Charlie is one of the most brilliant people we've seen in politics. And there's several things I disagree with Charlie on, but you couldn't deny the guy was sharp. He debated strangers for a living. That's not easy to do across the country, nonstop. Right? Something's off here. Let me tell you all how often the number 33 came up. Okay. Remember, there were 3 rows of Donald Trump hats on the table where Charlie Kirk was. Each hat had the number 47 on it, which equals 11. 11, 11, 11 equals 33. We've already been over that. Okay. Charlie Kirk was allegedly taken out 33 days before his birthday. If I remember, if my math is correct. Obviously, as we all know, notoriously, the manhunt lasted 33 hours. Erika Kirk then will go on to give a speech that lasted 33 minutes. All right. The memorial that took place in a record timing, I think like 11 days later, was at a 33.0 latitude. And a lot of people don't know that. And I believe it was like 80,000 people there. And that's the same event where she threw up the I love you hand sign that we've already proven, according to the guy who created the Church of Satan, that's literally a hand pose that they use. At this same event, Trump literally called Charlie Kirk a master builder. And then 3 hours the day of, on September 10th, Donald Trump once again called Charlie Kirk a master builder, just 3 hours after everything. We got Kash Patel saying that he's going to see Charlie in Valhalla. Now, a lot of you all have done the research to know that Valhalla is a Danish guest house in New Zealand. All right. And it just so happened that the FBI had just opened up a new office in New Zealand in July of 2025, just right before everything happened. No ambulance, no autopsy. I mean, we've went down the list. Not to mention the movie Snake Eyes and all these films that almost perfectly aligns to what happened that day in Charlie and Erika's relationship. I'm convinced these people If Erika Kirk is going to be connected to Jeffrey Epstein, which I'm almost certain that's the direction Candace is going. I said it early on. I said if Candace is authentic, if she's genuine, she's going to have to question Erika Kirk. And while it took a little bit longer than I originally thought it would, she's here now. She's doing it. Because I'm like, there's no way she can't see it. Well, here's the next thing I would say. If she's genuine, if she's honest about this, Candace's going to have to question this guy right here. Y'all can call it insensitive. You can call it whatever you want. I'm not meaning to be insensitive. Psyops are real things. And if you want to convince me that these people are not actors, all playing a part, playing a role, I could show you all something that will blow your mind. Let me see if I can pull it up. Watch this. I saw something the other day that blew my mind, and I sent it to a buddy of mine. And you're going to say, what does this have to do with it? It has a lot to do with it. Watch this. Okay. I'm going to show you all something. You're going to ask me, what does this have to do with anything? Just watch the video, and then you all tell me if anything seems off to you about this video.
Because I still do things that none of y'all do.
This person right here, his name is Myles Garrett. Just watch the video. If you've watched sports in your life, this guy's a football player. Tell me if he reminds you of anybody. Just watch the video.
Who's none of y'all?
You will, rest of the league.
Like what? Yeah,
Hold on.
Thank you, bro.
Hold on.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
Hold on. Yes, that record stands, and we're not taking that away. There's nobody in the league who can line up from left to right and play every position as if they got paid at that position. Facts.
I have a sack at every spot across the line.
You can have a second. I'm talking about truly playing at my weight.
I can't be 240, bro. That's
Facts.
That's not what I'm asked to do. I actually got to set the edge.
No, I
Play the run.
Hold on.
Get TFLs.
I get those too.
You got like 4 in the last 2 years.
That's cap.
All right, little cap.
That record is only going to stay for so long.
It is still currently my time.
Because I still do.
So the reason I just showed you all that video is because the guy Myles Garrett earringly looks like, sounds like, talks like Kobe Bryant. I'm talking about to a point where it's very strange. It makes you wonder if these people are playing roles, and they're all actors. I'm not joking. No. I have to show you all something, man. I have to show you. We have to see we gotta let's see. I know this is going off topic, but y'all gotta see this. Okay, it looks like somebody else made a video on this. I'm gonna show you all this. This is relevant to the Charlie Kirk, Erika Kirk thing, I promise you, because all of these people.
I can turn your wildest ideas
Watch
into a
this.
song. Just describe it in a few words. Fifth 8, handle the rest.
Yo, what's good, everybody? So today's video is going to be about Kobe Bryant because he is now playing the role of Myles Garrett. And I understand this might be hard for a lot of people to believe, but just keep an open mind when you watch my videos
Dude, they look
and
just
be
alike.
sure to do your own research. You know, there was a lot of fake stuff with Kobe's death. You know, it was very suspicious. Like, why was there no black box in the
Okay.
helicopter? And then there was no remains of the bodies at all. It's weird that a bunch of people died in that helicopter crash, but yet there was no evidence of it whatsoever. You know, we never saw his body or anything. So before I get into this video, be sure to drop a like and share because they're really trying to hide my videos. And I really want this video to get out there because a lot of people need to wake up to this. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people were sad when he died, and just to find out that he's not even dead, you know what I mean? So people are getting sad over something that's not even real. And
Now, before we continue, if this stuff is new to you, or if it turns you off, or if it's weird, you don't understand it, you don't believe it, I get it. I'm with you. Fine. Please just watch 2 minutes of this. Just watch 2 minutes of it. This will blow your mind. There is something going on in this world, and I don't know quite what it is. And I believe it's happening with the Charlie Kirk thing.
I'm just trying to wake people up to that. So this picture right here is very convincing. You know, shout out to Cam B. He was the first one to make a video about this. And I saw it right away, to be honest. But this is why I tell you guys to do your own research, because some people might see it right away, but for some other people, it might take a little bit longer. So be sure to do your own research and watch this video with an open mind. So if you pay attention, they have the same smile.
Yep.
So something that might be confusing for a lot of people is the fact that Myles Garrett has a bigger body compared to Kobe Bryant. You know, of course they're going to do something to try to throw us off, but when you zoom in, you could tell that his body is fake because he has two different skin tones right here. And if you want to know how they make the bodysuits, go watch my Juice WRLD is Lucky video. In that video, I showed how they make the bodysuits. You know, they do it in movies all the time. So some people might not believe this because Myles Garrett is way younger than Kobe. But look at this headline. It says Myles Garrett looks like a grown man. So isn't that funny that there's an article that says that he looks like a grown man? And when you look at the picture, you can tell that he's a grown man. This is clearly not a high school kid. He looks way older than the high school kids right here. Right here it says photo of Myles Garrett in high school is insane. While he stands out even amongst his peers in the NFL level, the difference was even more pronounced when he was younger. Check out this absurd photo from while he was in high school. Garrett looks like a superhero compared to his teammates. The thought of typical high school football players trying to stop Garrett is simply unfair. To me, it's obvious that his body is fake. Especially right here. Look at the different skin tones. You know, why is he lighter right here than on his neck? Because in this picture, it's not really like that. And right here, you could tell that his body is super fake.
Now, this may be the part that people may not understand. So let me go somewhere else where I want to show you all him playing basketball. This is a football player. Watch this.
Good basketball player.
That's crazy. He looks just like Kobe. He literally looks just like Kobe dunking. How was he able to do that? Somebody literally said right there, he looks like a buff Kobe.
And then somebody in the comments said, he looks like a buff Kobe. And then he actually replied to it and he said, you guys kill me with this conspiracy. So why would he even respond to it? You know what I mean? So here's another video of Myles Garrett playing basketball. You know, isn't it funny that he's very good at basketball, just like Kobe, and he looks exactly like Kobe. And I recommend you guys go check out this video. I had to mute the sound because there's a copyrighted song on it. But if you guys want to go watch this video, the link to my Instagram is in the description below. I recommend you guys check it out because in the song, he's saying, "You is a lie." And the song that's playing in the background is called Prices from the Eternal Take album. And in that same album, there's another song called Kobe Bean Bryant. For some reason, he has a lot of pictures in a basketball court. You know, right here, he's at an NBA game. And then right here, he's playing a basketball game.
I played.
Experience Japan on a
I gotta show you all when they're both speaking side by side. It's gonna freak you out. Just watch. I'm not showing you this randomly for nothing. I promise you. This is relevant.
You know, it's so obvious that he's Kobe, but right here it says KD
He
broke the
literally
league.
looks like Kobe right here in the middle. That is crazy.
He took the easy way out. Me, I'm too competitive to try and ride out somebody's coattails to get a W. And then here's an interview of Myles Garrett. And he only talked about basketball once in this video, but for some reason they decided to put that as the title. You know, I don't think that was a coincidence. So here's the video where he talks about basketball.
I can't imagine what happens here.
Everybody loves football in Texas. I mean, you can play basketball. You know, there's a lot of good basketball players that come out of Texas, come out of the South, but there's nothing like, you know, football down in Texas. I mean, that's the biggest draw. And you go down to almost any stadium, any field, and you know, you have packed crowds at high school football games. You know, you have little league, you know, coaches, you know, talking about, you know, you come through here, you can be a star anywhere. And that's, you know, growing up 7, 8, 9 years old, and they're putting that dream in their heads, you know, that quickly at that young of an age, because they know, you know, that's where ball players are made.
At what age were you identified? Did somebody first tell you you can do this if you want to?
Oh, like 17.
17.
I played basketball for most of my life. I tried football one time. I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to play running back.
Experience Japan on a journey customized to you.
Big, put me on O-line. I was like, yeah, this is not for me.
And then in this next video, he does a funny reaction and he looks just like Kobe.
Me, I was coming back from dinner. I was actually on the road to go to my house, take 2 turns. I'm there and I'm driving. I hear on the radio, you know, the Browns have, you know, traded for Odell Beckham. I stopped the car, pulled it to a parking lot. I was like, okay, you know, the radio get live sometimes, so let me check Twitter because that's the most reliable source. The internet never lies.
All facts on Twitter, Miles.
So I heard it for 3 or 4 sources, and we talked about in the group message for D-line. I was like, well, we made it happen. It's just, you know, we're really trending upwards. You know, we're really, you know, fine-tuning this offense to be something special, and you know, we're going to be something special on defense. You know, with all the guys we got packed in there. So it's looking like a hell of a year.
So in this next video, he talks about his dog, and he also talks about playing the role of a dad.
Real treat here on the program to bring in the great Myles Garrett. It's been a while. We haven't had you on in a while. It's great to have you, sir. Thank you for taking the time. What's your off season been like? What has these past couple of months been since last we saw you on the football field?
It's been interesting. You know, taking a couple of vacation trips. I went to Miami, went to the Bahamas, got a puppy. You know, just been trying to take care of him, keeping him from pooping in my house, and I've just been playing the dad role.
So it's funny that he says he's playing the role of a dad because Kobe Bryant is a dad. And in that video, he says that he doesn't like when his dog poops in his house. And Kobe said a similar thing. He says, I have 4 dogs and I just don't do dog do. I'm a diva when it comes to that. So he's basically saying that he doesn't like dog doo-doo. And it's funny because he says he has 4 dogs, right? Myles Garrett also has a lot of dogs. Another weird thing is that a rapper called 6 Dogs died today on the anniversary of Kobe's death. And I don't know if that relates to anything, but Kobe said he has 4 dogs. So I don't know. But it's just funny that Myles Garrett and Kobe both have dogs, and their dogs look very similar too. All right, so Kobe retired from basketball in 2016, right? So isn't it funny that Myles Garrett started the NFL in 2017? You know, the timeline adds up perfect on this one. So now let's compare it to Kobe's voice.
All right, this is the part I really want you all to see. I know I probably lost a lot of you all with this stuff, but I want you all to just hear the difference in their voice. It's really weird.
There's a behavior that I like that comes with reading, particularly books. When you have a book in your hand, you start at page 1, and you go through the process of finishing a book. It does something to the imagination. It gets them thinking.
They sound exactly the same.
For what it's worth, it's never too late to be whoever you want to be.
Bro, what in the world?
There's no time limit. Start whenever you want. You can change or stay the same. We can make the best or the worst of it. I promise you, I'm going to make the best of it. I hope you live a life you're proud of, and if not, I hope you have the courage to start over again. Living and learning, being accountable. Focus on what matters and what's important. Growing stronger, getting better, and treating every second as if it's a gift.
Okay, that picture right there is wild. Kobe was my favorite basketball player growing up, so I've looked at just about every photo, every video, every interview. This is strange, but I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. The point that I'm getting at here, because I know a lot of you all, I'm gonna lose some of you all with this. I do believe that fallen angels are a real thing. And I believe that that's what's taking place with this Charlie Kirk, Erika Kirk situation. I do. People typically like to say, oh, people who believe this are low IQ. It's because you lack the explanation of what's really going on. It's bigger than that, people. It's bigger than that. It's something else going on. But I digress. I digress. That's a video for another day. I could have saved that for another day because I know this crowd that comes here for the Charlie Kirk, Erika Kirk stuff, you all, I understand, like to keep it what we can prove, right? I get it, but this is a spiritual fight. You can't believe in the Bible and then try to steer away from these sort of conversations because that's talking out of two sides of your neck. Right? If you believe that God exists, you got to believe that Satan exists. That's all I'm saying. And I believe something similar is going on with this Erika Kirk. You all saw the video where we covered the lady who talked about her eyes, Erika's eyes. You know? Where's that comment? Somebody said, you realize that Joe Biden has been, yeah, I've seen that. I want to cover that on Patreon. I believe something weird happened with Joe Biden too. And that one I could get closer to proving. From the different heights he was at different times, it was weird. If you don't believe that presidents have doubles, I don't know what to tell you. If you believe that's a conspiracy theory in 2026, I don't know what to tell you. Straight up. Hit the like button, everybody. All right, let me appreciate the $5 super chat. I emailed you, Jack, Erika, Utah, the same time I emailed to Candace. Correct. Okay, I'll check it out. Did you email this to me today? Did that chart of Baal to the underlines was brilliant. Always watch your sub numbers. YouTube is definitely shadow banned. Not sure how many others platforms you're on, but get on as many as possible. You're right. And this chart he's talking about, I put a chart up on Patreon earlier today about the hierarchies in the world and who's controlling who. But that's on Patreon. Thank you for the super chat. Looking to Jerry Francvi, her connection to Avon, which connects her to the Mooney's Code. Jerry Francvi, okay. Yeah, the Moonies is interesting because I believe that's based out of, is it Japan? I believe that's based out of Japan, which is, I believe, the last trip that Charlie Kirk took before everything took place. I'm telling you, they body swap. Castanet is Diddy. Yeah, I've seen that stuff. Yeah, I've seen that one too. I'm not saying I believe every conspiracy that's out there, but some of this stuff, you're out your mind if I'm not entertaining it. Research Arizona Wilder. Most of these people are non-human or created in a lab, implanted into a military family. Charlie has no family, no history. Arizona Wilder. Yeah, I'm gonna look that up too. I know this is like a lot for people because a lot of us was raised to look at the world different, and we're regular people and we think everybody else is living a regular life like us. That's not the real world. I do not believe that anymore. I don't. Thank you for the $10 super chat, Christina. Hi, Didi. Just wanted to show some love. Miles and Kobe have very different ears. Check them out side by side. Yes, that's actually been addressed as well. So, again, I don't want to digress too much, but they also have different heights. I believe Myles Garrett is listed as a little bit shorter than Kobe, but that doesn't change how this stuff works. If you look into body doubles, those are the adjustments that they make, right? But I appreciate the comment, but that doesn't change all the other weird similarities. They're just too coincidental for me. Adrian, thank you for the $2 super chat. True, but the clones be slightly different. Right. I agree. Yeah, man. It's not low IQ. It's lack of understanding. Many have knowledge, but few understand what they know. That's a very good way to put that. That's actually very well said. I agree. I'm one of those people. What's interesting is Candace actually said that earlier. It's like sometimes you think you know something. She read a tweet from the woman Elizabeth Lane, who was talking about Erika. And in that tweet, Elizabeth Lane said, sometimes you know that something's off, but what your instincts are telling you, you think is so wild to say out loud that you just wouldn't dare say it. But every bit of your common sense is telling you something's off here. This is most likely what's probably happening, but you just don't want to say it because you don't know how people are going to look at you, how the information will be received, you know? The paranormal has helped me understand the Bible. I wouldn't doubt it. People typically like to compartmentalize and pretend that only God exists and evil can't exist. Well, no, if you believe the evil exists, what does that consist of? It's some crazy stuff happening, man. I'm going to put it to you this way. Don't be surprised the direction Candace Owens takes this investigation. She's already referenced MK Ultra. She's already mentioned Freemasonry. She's already mentioned that foreign nation. Do not be shocked, because if you think what I just did and mentioned is a little bit out there, far-fetched, okay. Did he look at Erika's opening speech at MFest, her silhouette behind the podium? She has a tail. Yeah, we've already addressed that. There have been a couple of people to make videos to debunk that as well. They claimed that it was something that was behind her, but I don't know how I feel about it because I don't actually believe that there was anything behind her. Yeah. But yeah, man, I'm not going to make this too long. I have a Jeffrey Epstein video. Speaking of Jeffrey Epstein, I have an incredible Jeffrey Epstein video that I'm working on. I plan to have it out by tomorrow. So hit the like button. As always, hop in the comment section, give me your thoughts. I'm going to link in the description the military video, the link to the TikTok page of the ex-CIA member who investigated the fraud at TPUSA. I'm going to link all that in the description as soon as this video ends. All right. So I'm going to catch you all in the next one. As always, pray for everybody mentioned in this video. I'm Demetrius. I go by Didi. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.
Oh yeah, Didi got a podcast.
Attitudes and our work ethic become very important in realizing our goals and opening up possibilities. I had lunch a couple of weeks ago with a recent graduate of UCA. And his story is really fascinating. It's one of overcoming homelessness during his time pursuing his degree, first at a community college here in Arkansas, and then finishing his bachelor's degree here at UCA. His narrative ranges from estrangement from family for many years to a hopeful reunion with mother and siblings. His record is one of overcoming odds in a way that I probably could not, and certainly demonstrating levels of tenacity and patience and optimism that I can only marvel at. He wanted to talk with me about his new job and his career path going forward. I really need to be there to learn from him because that's where the real value was.
Everything I say in this video is alleged. Allegedly. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. Y'all can just repeat after me. I really appreciate it. Alright. No such thing. Come on, you do better than that. Talk to me. Talk to me. Alright, let's start it over. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. You're worse than the rich white people who are, or the rich white Jews that own these record labels, because they don't even understand these populations. You have a lot closer relationship to these people, and you're leading them to hellfire. You are leading them in the wrong direction in the name of getting rich and famous. How dare you?
Oh yeah, Didi got a podcast.